What's up, guys? So I finally got the other two done out of that 4-watch set for my buddy Gene. These are the women's builds. So if you looked back, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 videos, you'll see a double build with these Leadership Uncensored level up builds. So these ones are just done very similar, except these are on shark mesh hybrids instead of engineered, still polished. With MG over at Showtime Custom Watchworks in Texas. He did the case, the Shark Mesh Hybrid. This is normally polished kind of in the center and brushed on the sides. The case is polished, but this has been stripped down and repolished. And then we were able to get in fluted bezels. He polished those as well. And then the crowns. So we sent those off, got those engraved first, and then polished. So as I referenced in the other video, these are fingerprint magnet even when I'm wearing these gloves. My fingerprint comes right on through. But so this is a smaller case. It's a 38 millimeter case if you don't count your crown guards that kind of stick out here. So it's a 38-18 with the crown guards sticking out. You're essentially like a 40 with one of these, or 41, but it is considerably smaller than the other ones that are an actual 41. I did the skinnier low profile hand sets on there, and then the same style seconds hand is what's on the other ones. Same engraved crown, but this is a specialized crown for this case. My accountant is calling me. I will call him back, because otherwise this video will have to be restarted. So low profile exhibition case back, gilded rotor in there, and a stainless steel movement holder inside. And then, as I referenced before, polished case, polished fluted bezel, polished shark mesh hybrid, and polished crown. Those are the builds, as you can see here. There are two. So came out pretty awesome. Same exact setup on this one as that one. So there you go, good sir. As with every build, I referenced that the bezels will turn left and right, but not on these ones. These bezels were so tight, I had to flatten a tiny section that you can't even see against the bezel there for them to fit in. So they'll go left and right just inside here. They won't do anything more than that. So normally you can turn them left, turn them right, but with these there's no numbering or anything on it, so you wouldn't even worry about it. But this will move a little bit. You'll feel it moving back and forth. It's just the little flat spot to give me that clearance, because it was clear, except it sat up on the case just barely because of an angle. So I used the Dremel and flattened it down in a section you can't see, and then put it on. So bezel will go left, it'll go right, just barely. The only time you'll really feel it is maybe when you're winding it. If you get your thumb over there, you might feel it going up and down a little bit. But anyway, automatic mechanical, so you can wind it, you can wear it, you can put it in a watch winder. But if it's dead or you're not going to be very active, make sure you wind it up just a little bit. And how you do that is you back the crown off the threads until you hear it and feel it clicking. You'll notice it's not on the threads. So you get that little bit of play there, it's not on the threads. And you'll feel it clicking in your hands. At that point you can wind, and a wind is a turn that way. Turning it towards you doesn't do anything, but it's a lot easier to just go back and forth and wind it, giving it basically half turns. So if you do this for 4 or 5 seconds before you put it on, that mixed with your movement, because you've got that rotor in the back that will spin with your movement to wind your watch, that will keep you running through the day. But if you do it for something closer to 20 seconds, you're going to max out that 31 plus hour power reserve on it. You cannot overwind it, so you can wind this all day if you want. It will not hurt it. You just won't get any further than 31 hours on the power reserve. When you are happy with your winding, pull it to the one and only click, and then you can set your time. It does not have a hacking movement, so it's going to keep going. And you'll also notice you get a little bit of play in that crown. That's a wobble crown that deflects lateral pressure from going into the stem and into the movement, or putting any adverse pressure on the movement when you're pushing and prying on it. If you kind of pull it straight, you won't even really feel it. Okay, Google, what time is it?
It's 3:21 p.m.
Oh, look at that. That was like a perfect twist. All right, push it back over, get it out of that time setting, and then wind it down. That is your build. This does the exact same. Back off the crown. Give it some clicks. Pull it to the one and only click. You can now set your time. 3:20. Let's go about 3:22. Push it over, take it out of that time setting, and screw it down. And there you go. Those are your two builds. And then the wife decided to throw in some mermaid beads. These will reflect nicely, so you can kind of see for the ladies' bead sets. So 2 sets of bead sets there. These will also come in your Leadership Uncensored boxes. These will come with watch cleaner. These are good on all glass and metal parts of this watch as a whole, just to clean it. Will also come with some scratch remover. This is Novus 2 from Amazon, just repackaged. It's like Polywatch because you've got an acrylic glass and you can scratch it. But if you do, put a tiny bit of this on it, buff against it, using your included microfiber, buff it out. So if it's a scratch that way, buff this way, filling that scratch, and then polish it, and it will get it knocked out. Now, with the polishing here, Cape Cod cloths will work. So if you look up Cape Cod, they are polishing cloths. So if you ever get a scratch in your polishing, Cape Cod cloth will buff that out. So those are your builds, sir. Sorry it took a minute. We had to use these bezels. We had to use a different case, and I only had one of those cases on hand, and then getting things from over in the east, the Ukraine, Poland, Russia, Belarus area, Moldova, was tough. So it took me a while to get you that other case. Then when I got that case, I didn't care that it was used because we were going to redo it all, except there was a ding in the crown. So then I had to find somebody who had a crown because that crown only works, that crown and stem only fits this watch and another watch. And the other watch is a watch that I don't use. So it's a special length. So then I had to run down an additional crown. So got a little sidetracked on it, but we finally got him going out to you, man. And I appreciate your time, Ben. So if you, and side note, if I hadn't told you, I had made those dials for you extra last time, and the dial guy that I work with is in Poland, and we'll probably not be going back to making dials. So in the future, if you want level ups again, we might be using that logo and doing a different style of laser etched instead of acid etched dials. So I happen to have those on hand for you, just assuming that you would order more at some point, and wanted to make sure that I had them. But I appreciate you, buddy. And if you want me to build you something custom and unique, reach out and I'll see what I can do. And if you want to continue to see videos like this, like and subscribe as I put them up all the time. Thanks, guys.